now for the UK's #1 female motivational business speaker is the Taz Thornton. Give it up! Go on, Taz! Go on, Taz!
If we don't keep ourselves topped up on all levels, we cannot fully serve the people we believe we're here to serve. If we start to actually physically diarise time out, time for inspiration. My wife and I take an inspiration day once a month. We just get on a train, go somewhere, get inspired, and then come up with loads more ideas for our businesses. If we schedule time out for learning and development, if we schedule time out, dare I say it, for fun, how much better will we feel? And when we feel better, how much more effective will we be in our lives and our businesses? And when we feel better, how much will people then radiate towards us and want to be in our energy, in our sphere? Because I'm telling you, cynicism doesn't sell. And that, we call it stiff upper lip, but in reality, that miserable, cynical, sarcastic, British persona we all wear, like the heaviest cloak, that doesn't sell either. Maybe you've been told that if you stand up and put your head above the parapet, you'll get shot. Well, you might, but you can also dodge. And let me tell you that it might seem lonely at the top, but by goodness, it's crowded at the bottom. Who here believes they are ambitious? Who here secretly believes they're ambitious, but they've been taught that ambition is kind of a bad thing and we shouldn't talk about being ambitious? Why is ambition a bad thing? What do we picture when people talk about ambition? We think about the really driven person with the slick hair and the cufflinks. We think about the person who would trample over anyone, who would sell their granny to get to the next brilliant share price. But ambition can be anything. Who here wants something better for their family? Who here wants that holiday they keep putting off because they're just too busy, or maybe one day when they can afford it? Who here wants to get a dog, but you know you're too busy and you've not got time and you wouldn't be able to walk it? Get the dog, employ somebody to walk it, you're giving back to society. Or get a cat. Take it for a drag. Or a goldfish. Take it for a drag. Don't do that.
Taz told me.
Taz told me to get a goldfish and take it for a drag. We can do that. What if we reclaimed ambition? What if we stopped seeing it as a bad thing? What if we stopped seeing ambition as a negative? What if we recognised that wanting to be happy, healthy, to embrace life, to love life, to give our kids something better, to give our partner something better, to give us something better, to just wake up every day thinking, wow, what does today hold, instead of, oh my God, is it that time already? Snooze. What if ambition is just wanting to wake up happy and sleepy, maybe not grumpy? It doesn't take you so long. That one didn't land well, did it? But the big thing I want you to take from this, as well as the whole, massive action is subjective, is that for all of you running your own businesses, you are not going to ruin anything by telling people your story. And yes, of course, right from the place of the scar, not from the wound. Make sure you're in a solid enough place to talk about what you've been through. But when you open up and genuinely share what you've been through and what you learned from it, and you leave people in a place of possibility, that doesn't tank your business. That will grow your business.
I stalked Taz for 3 years before I worked with her, because I saw her stuff on LinkedIn, and I was just in awe of this woman who was so unapologetically herself, so authentic. It just took my breath away. And I remember seeing her post and thinking, I want to be like that.
It's important to know that when she says I gave her permission, she means I dragged her there kicking and screaming. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit today about personal brand, about visibility, and about authenticity. If you are sharing in such a way that you're primary objective is to serve and support and help and inspire and motivate.
What did I learn from it? How have I grown from it? How has this contributed to the bloody brilliant woman I am today? Now, I'm not telling you all that you should get out there and start really being massively vulnerable before you are ready with everybody in the world. But what I can tell you, when we start to revisit our timelines in that way, it gives us the basis of some brilliant content. I can look at every bit of success I have, whether it's TV, radio, doing amazing events like this, and I can trace it all back to one video I did. And it was when one day I was sitting in a car park, Sainsbury's car park or another major supermarket brand. But there's a pattern here. And it was before the days of Facebook Live, and I decided that I'd own up, but just to my friends, because I'd hidden the vulnerability. I'd hidden what I'd been through. And I shot a video and I broke every social media rule in the book. I rambled, it went on for nearly 10 minutes, there was no real script, but I told them what I'd been through, and I said that even when we feel hopeless, there's always hope, and that those urges to check out pass if we just hold on. And I talked about everything I would have missed out on if I'd been successful, and that failing to take my life was actually my greatest success. And I thought, it's okay, I'm just telling my friends, it's fine. It's about time I told my friends. And I hit send and my phone started lighting up like a circus tent. And that's when I realised that I had forgotten to hit friends only. That video went viral. We stopped counting at 40,000 global views. It put me into HuffPost, Kindred Spirit, Diva, BBC. It went wild. And I still get messages today from people who've said, someone sent me that video and I've decided that I'm going to hang around, I'm going to stop trying to check out, I'm going to make something of my life. So, thank you for being so vulnerable, because I think vulnerability is a superpower if we harness it properly. And I think it's time we got past this ridiculous British stiff upper lip BS. And it's time we started talking more, not to offload, not to do the drama thing, not to do those threads that result in people saying, oh, inbox me, hun, not those. But to just tell people that sometimes it's okay to not be okay, and those urges pass, so hang in there. So anyone here who has been through mental health issues, it's time we started talking more, it's time we smashed the stigma. So big up to everyone here who's up there. You all rock, you really do. This community is amazing. You're all amazing. Keep talking.
In the UK, the field of coaching is really saturated. There are loads and loads and loads of people suddenly saying they're coaches. Is it the same here? Yeah? So people need a reason to believe in you rather than the person down the road, don't they? So every time these people come to me and say, no, I just want to talk about my products and services, and I ask them to start telling their story about what it is that fires them up, why it is they want to do that, what is it that made you want to design websites, or be a coach, or go into network marketing, whatever it is. No, I don't want to talk about that, I don't have a story. I just want to talk about my products. I just want more money and I want it tomorrow. But it doesn't work that way. They needed to give a little bit of themselves as well. Because it is true, isn't it, that we talk about whether our businesses are B2B, business to business. We talk about whether our businesses are business to consumer, when in fact, it's all H to H. It's all really human to human.
I'm helping small businesses to be visible and to get the attention and the audience they need. Because it's not about ego. The reason I grab every media opportunity I can, and the reason I want to encourage you to do the same and build your followers wherever I can, is because you are all self-employed, because on some level, you want to make a difference. And you can't help people if they don't know you exist. You cannot be a secret and a success at the same time. Personal brand is you, and it's the real you. Your personal brand is what people say when you're not in the room. It's about the truth of who you are. And if anybody ever tells you to embroider your story a little bit in order to make it more exciting, remember this. When you get to the point where people are asking you to come and speak on those stages or present to their groups,
and you start to tell that exciting, slightly embroidered, just tweaked story that's almost the truth but not quite, you only need one person at the back of that room who says, hold on, I was there at the time and it didn't play out that way, and your credibility is through the floor. It takes years and years and years to build trust and credibility. It takes a moment to smash them. Telling your story is important because there is too much bullshit in business. Telling your story is important because when we are looking at marketing and PR, and again, my background is in journalism, in marketing and PR, there is too much spin, there is too much plastic, and we are all sick of it. We are all, every one of us, sick to the back teeth of being sold at, of being sold a false promise, of being sold this ideal that we can work 4 hours a day and then be able to retire on a beach somewhere. There's too much crap. Whereas if you give somebody realism, if you speak with heart and with authenticity, and you don't try and embroider your story because your story is enough, people will see that, they will read that, they will believe in you, they will trust you, and somewhere where someone just connects with that thread and thinks, she'll understand, they will become your clients. So when I went self-employed and I started to talk in some of the business settings about some of the less tangible work that I do, they'd come back with, oh, it's a load of hippie shit, isn't it? Yes, it is, thank you very much. I will claim that hashtag and I'll take it as my own. Flip things around. Now, you know, this is one of the things I really want to talk to you about today as business owners. Turning your can'ts into cans. Using your real backstory to help to build authenticity, trust, build your tribe, build your bottom line by default. You've got to give more. You've got to imagine that you have a trust bank. And every time you give something without expecting anything in return, every time you give advice, every time you make somebody laugh, every time you make somebody think, you're putting a coin into that bank of trust. Every time you ask somebody to do something, you're taking a coin out of that trust bank. You've got to make sure that you always have reserves in that trust bank when you're using social media. We're not being ourselves. There are too many of us who are going, well, I'm in business mode now, and this is what I want people to know about me. This is how I want to present to the world. Which is fine. If you're still in a 9-to-5 office job, and you're not going to be kind of socialising occasionally with your clients, which is what you do through networking, because we socialise with each other, don't we? We pretend to like each other quite a lot, you know? And if you are trying to create this facade all the time, sooner or later that's going to slip. And the second those masks you're building up start to develop a few fissures, you're going to lose credibility. Straight away, your credibility is down the pan. Straight away, your trust is gone. I'm going to be asking you to really think about some of the values that are important to you. Now, who's heard somebody who does coaching and NLP talking about value sets before? Yeah, it's boring as batshit, isn't it? So we're not calling it that. Because the second you say value sets to somebody, it has the same effect as saying, let's set some goals. If you really want it, you've got to go for it. But it's going to be hard work. It's not going to just fall into your lap. When people look at me and say it's all right for you, it is all right for me. You know why it's all right for me? Because I made it all right for me. If you want something, you've got to be prepared to go for it. You've got to stop being afraid. You've got to stop hiding behind who it is you think you should be, and be brave enough to say, screw you world, this is who I am. This is me, let the world beware. Don't set out to hurt anyone. Don't set out to rattle cages unnecessarily. But do set out to be you and to be the best version of you. And sometimes that will piss people off. But sometimes you've just got to get your gum shield in, face it up, and be you. Look how the clients I have today. Not one person came to me and said, oh yeah, that woman couldn't even kill herself properly. Nobody. Nobody said, why are you a coach? Because you were a proper squirrel a few years ago. Nobody said that. What people said was, I think you'll understand where I'm coming from. I think I'll be able to talk to you honestly, and I won't feel you're judging me. I think you might be able to help me, because you're where I want to be. Not one person said I could torpedo my career. Only me. What are you not sharing? And you don't have to make yourself metaphorically naked, but you do need to at least take your socks off. if you want people to relate to you. So adopt it as a habit if you can. Every morning, 5 things that you're grateful for, just before you even get out of bed. When we do that every day, we start to create a new habit. We literally rewire our brain to start to see the good things instead of focusing on all the crap we've been conditioned to focus on. We start to, yeah, it might be raining outside, but if we didn't have as much rain, we wouldn't have as much green stuff. And yeah, it's really bright sunshine. We were asking for sunshine a few months ago, now we're complaining that there's too much sun. What if? Find the stuff you've seen as bad. Find a way to flip those negatives. Find the goodness in it and start telling those stories. 5 gratitudes every day. And when you meet people today, don't just immediately try to sell at them. We think we're selling to people. We're not. We're selling at them. Open a conversation. Find out what's in here. In here. Listen deeply. Listen, not with that voice at the back of your head going, how am I going to convert this client? But listen to really hear what they are talking to you about. And then promise then, even if they have no interest in your products and services, when they walk away from here, they'll come back when they want it and they'll steer your way. Get real. Get gratitude, get real, and have a bloody good show. Thank you. What keeps me motivated? Me in 5 years' time. It doesn't matter how much we are asked who inspires us or who we want to be like. Don't aim to be like somebody else, be more you. The one figure who will never steer you wrong, who will always give you the best advice, who will always tell you when to put your foot onto the accelerator or when to pull back, is you in 5 years' time.
She was already starting that when I first met her, and now I've watched her go across stages and do some phenomenal stuff. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome Taz.
We saw a rat. So, well, you live in the Lincolnshire Fenlands, you know, it's a kind of healthy part of your ecosystem. As long as it's not in your kitchen, you're okay. And they said, we think it came from the dikes. And I went, that's it, Laners.